Hello, everybody. Welcome to This Xbox Life, episode 452, Red Dead 2. I am one of your hosts, Mark, aka Wingman709, and with me, as always, is my goodest, bestest buddy, Rob.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hello, 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 Mark.
Hey, weird. You're not moving. Your camera's not moving.
Yeah, I'm looking mighty still.
Why are you frozen? Why are you? Oh, there it goes. I don't know. Okay, it looks to be moving now. I see your pretty face. All right.
Jeez.
So, welcome to the show. We hopefully everybody can hear me this time. Otherwise, there's just quiet going on. So, first of all, I want to get out of the way. Apologies for audios last week. Rob is like did some magic, and it really took some magic and for Rob to figure out what was going on because we haven't changed anything on this end. And so, if you're not sure what's going
Yeah,
on, people reporting they could not hear me, but they could hear Kyle and
only
Rob
you.
last week. Yeah, but like I
That's
wasn't there.
magical. It's like a Mark mute button.
Yeah, it was.
It's
So
amazing. Need
people were
one in
saying
real
it
life
was.
sometimes.
Yeah, those people were saying it was the best show they'd ever heard. Um,
Yeah.
so, but and by the way, Gunny out there on Twitch, if let us know if you're hearing us both right now and if we sound good, please. Thank you very much. Um, so anyways, Rob did some magic and found some weird stuff, and we're really not sure what happened. But he saw some really weird stuff. So, we will see. He's gonna look at the show this week before he posts it and see if we're getting some more weird stuff from my audio, and he'll make sure that it goes out clear this time. But it was weird because like I tried the Twitch replay, the YouTube replay. I played it through iTunes. I played it through my phone. I played it so many, and everything was fine. Like not
Yeah.
everybody was reporting it. It's some people reporting that I didn't exist in the show, so it was really weird.
And it
So
was it was really interesting because when we edit the audio, we see all the waveforms and stuff. I mean, I saw you. I mean, I saw everything. It sounded, I mean, you sounded really good, actually.
well,
At
thank you
least
very
when I
much.
was, yeah, don't let it go to your head. But you sounded really good, and I just could understand why, um, certain people couldn't get any audio. I noticed on my end if I sped it up like 1.7 speed, which is my normal podcast listening speed, that you sounded different. Unlike Kyle and I, where we sounded pretty much the same, just faster. And then yeah, it was some funky stuff. I think it had to do with whatever probably library or engine people were using to listen to their show with. Because I mean, a lot of these apps out there, particularly like on the phones, every app doesn't make its own, you know, um, MP3 engine or decoding engine or whatever it is. They share libraries from various sources. So it's probably like a certain library had issue and that's shared amongst all of the applications that people were listening on because like I said on our website sounded perfect, then my computer sounded great, in Audition it sounded great, it just on some phones it didn't. I wonder if it was like iPhone specific or if it went to Android and
Well, I
or
mine
different
was on
devices.
well, I was on I'm sorry, I use an iPhone and it was fine. But
Okay.
I did hear people say that like they were having problems in Stitcher. Was one I know they use Stitcher, which I didn't use the Stitcher app. That's not one I use.
Yeah, so Stitcher is different because what Stitcher does is they actually pull a show. Like, so if you listen to Stitcher, this Xbox Live, what they actually do is they grab our show and then they like re-encode it or do something. So when you download it or listen to it from Stitcher, you're actually not listening to it from us or from our website. It's sourced from their servers. So who knows what they did with it?
But
Probably downsampled us, tried to make us sound not as high fidelity.
I don't know. But I know one of our listeners did say it worked after you uploaded the new
Yes,
file, which I think went up. Was that this morning?
they went this morning, this afternoon, something like that.
So
And yeah, I did a bunch of stuff to it to make it show up as a new show. I mean, for everybody, when you update, it should show up as a brand new show. even
Yeah,
though it's last week's episode.
yeah. I actually on my iPhone, I actually in the iPhone's native podcast app, I had our show there from when I was testing
Hmm.
earlier, and when I went in today after I saw that, it come up said this show is no longer available, and it actually pulled down the new 451.
Yeah.
So thank you. It didn't double up. You did, and again, magic, man. You're a
Yeah,
genius.
that's right.
So
So the old one, the bad one, the show was titled episode 451, PAX Review with
Moronic
Marana
Cow.
Cow. And the new one is episode 451, PAX with Marana Cow.
Okay. So thank you for that.
Sure.
All right. So because of that, there was a contest in last week's show, which we were going to draw a $60 winner today. But I was the one that gave all the information about that. And to try to be fair to everybody, we are going to delay that.
Hey, so we know who heard the show.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Everybody who entered, listened.
So, and I know some people are like, "Oh man, I'd better odds if they're not in." But we want to be fair to everybody, and we were able to validate that there was an issue. So we are going to delay that, and I'm going to play the voicemail again because there's a voicemail that went along with it, and we'll talk about the contest later in the show. But we are going to delay that 1 week, so everybody has 1 more week to enter for that. All right, so let's just move on to what people really want to hear about, and that is gaming. So, Rob, did you get any gaming in this week?
A tiny bit. I played some more Skyforce Anniversary. I talked about this game a couple weeks ago when I first started playing it. It's like the 1943 coin-op games where you're just like this plane shooting upwards. Fantastic game. If you catch it on sale or even regular in the next couple weeks, definitely grab it. A whole lot of fun. Well done. Great graphics. And then I also grabbed the Forza 7 demo that released. When was that? Last Sunday or Monday?
Something this last week.
One of those days. Yeah, whatever day that was. Did you grab this one, Mark? Did you try it? Oh, no, you're waiting, aren't you?
I'm waiting. I'm not even pre-ordering the game. I know you can get some stuff if you pre-order, but I'm waiting until after the X gets here because I might as well just wait. This isn't a game that I want to probably play with a lot of people anyways. So, I'm going to wait to play it on the X in full 4K fidelity,
Yeah, there you go.
Beautiness of it.
So then, well, I can talk about it then.
Cool.
By myself because I tried it. So it comes with three vehicles and 3 tracks. You get what the heck was it? It was a truck, a Nissan and a Porsche. And so it's 1 track per car, and one is just like a regular track. Then in the what was that one? The Nürburgring.
Yes.
Nürburgring. That is the second one that they've got, and you get some really nice rain effects on that. They've always done some pretty cool rain effects in Forza, at least the regular games. Actually, even in Horizon. And then the truck one's pretty cool as well. It just what's interesting about the trucks, and I don't know if the previous Forzas had the trucks or not, but when you play in the view, like not the bumper view, but the one that's like up high-ish.
Yeah.
So when you play this, you can't see in front of you too good because the truck's so freaking huge. Because it's basically like like one of those flat front trucks, the trailer trucks, 18-wheeler guys, and
that's a cab over is what they're called.
A what? Cab over?
Cab over. The cab is over the engine.
Oh, yes. Okay. Like, remember that show BJ and the Bear?
Yeah.
The one dude with his little monkey. Chimpanzee?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not a chimpanzee. It's a monkey. There's a distinction. I always hear people complaining about it, so I thought I'd do that. But anyway, the graphics are pretty cool. I noticed, I don't know if it's maybe the age of the Xbox One S that I was playing it on, but there were some parts where it kind of like juddered a little bit. So maybe this game is pushing the box to its limits in It's going to really need an Xbox One X maybe to be super silky smooth. And then again, it was a demo, and who knows, maybe the game's not 100% ready yet. But true to form, it's a Forza game, just like Forza 6 and 5 and all the previous ones. Pure racing, not like Horizon, which personally is my favorite probably because it's a little arcadey, not as realistic. But and the demo also has that automatic like speed reduction that the demo for Forza 6 had, because I definitely remember that. You know what I'm talking about? Like where like for example, when I'm going down the straightaway, it's like you're hauling butt. It's just like just going as fast as you can.
Right.
And then you're like, oh man, here comes the turn. Then boom, you smash into the wall, which helps you turn, I guess. And in the demos, it's like active braking. So as soon as you start coming up into the corner, it like automatically slows you down a little bit. I
Yeah,
mean, you can still,
that's an
oh,
option you can turn on.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. But I think in the first time that I played, I came in second. If that feature was not on, I think I would have been way down the list from coming in too hot into the turns.
Yeah.
But like I said, the graphics are great. The rain effects are awesome. It's got the nice water pooling on the road and on the sides, and it's got the droplet effects on the monitor. Kind of like water was hitting like a camera or a window. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Definitely short, and just gives you a glimpse as to what the game's going to be like. I'm sure it's going to look fantastic in 4K HDR. And I was playing just on a regular computer monitor, so it wasn't even HDR.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm on the fence about it. If it was Horizon, I would definitely get it. I guess I've got to wait for next year to get Horizon, because aren't they like alternating
Yes, pretty much.
years?
Yep.
So it's like regular Forza, then following your Horizon regular.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'll
Horizon
be
4
waiting
next
for.
year.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. But I think that is all I played this week. Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. I didn't play anything. I don't think I played anything other than I did go in and try Fortnite, the Battle Royale mode. And we're going to definitely talk more about this game later in this whole Battle Royale mode. But I did want to say, I'll tell you a little bit of my experience. I only played one game, um, and I did enjoy it. And it's, if you've played PUBG or Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, then you know what the Battle Royale mode is. And it was funny. I got into, so the first person I ran across, um, I could hear them in the building. Like I could hear them. And so I went in, and all of a sudden he was like on a stairs above me and started shooting at me with the shotgun. And I'm no lie, we we were in this little stairwell. We ended up, he kind of jumped down, and we were doing this circling each other thing, just shooting at each other. And then it's like both of us had to reload, and we're still like circling each other, and we just kept shooting at each other. Somehow I ended up winning and killing him. And it was interesting because the guy actually sent me a message afterwards on Xbox Live, and he's like, that was probably the funniest or the most pathetic one-on-one gunfight ever. So I was like, yeah, I said, I wrote him back and said, yeah, I was laughing at it. I said, this is my first time playing. And he wrote back, it's like, sadly, this isn't my first time.
Nice.
But I should look him up. I should give that guy a shout out. Well, I don't want to launch my Xbox thing. I'll look it up on my phone. But it was funny because, you know, the guy wasn't rude, and he didn't get mad. He was actually, it was a really, because when I saw the message come through, I'm like, oh, here we go. Should I even open this message? It's going to be full of foulness and stuff like that, usually like they are. And so his name was Crook Eye. So a shout out to Crook Eye. He said, worst close quarters gunfight ever, LOL. And I said, yeah, I was laughing over it my first time playing. And he says, unfortunately, it was not mine. Aha. I said, I just got very lucky. He says, I missed every shot with the shotgun, laughing out loud. Next time, crouch walk with your left button. It makes it harder to hear you. And I said, thanks. So, I killed the guy, and then he sends me a tip on how to, help be in the game. So really good. I was just like really impressed. I was like, wow, that just doesn't happen that often. So you run into Crook Eye out there. He's a cool dude. So he or she. Um, so, but it was. So I was playing it. I got killed with the second person I found because I didn't. I was walking up to a building and I'm like watching this building, look, getting ready to get to the door, and all of a sudden, bam, and I'm dead. And I turn around and someone was hiding behind a tree, like watching the building, waiting for somebody to go in. And then I watched them like do the same thing to a couple other people. And I was just like, you dirty dog.
Yeah.
But it was as a neat technique, but it's fun. It was a fun game mode. My understanding is that you can actually build stuff in the game. So if you got the resources, you can still mine resources. You can build structures. You can put a wall around you, so you can build your own little wall and put windows in it and then shoot people. So there's a little bit of a twist to the PUBG formula, but for all intents and purposes, it's pretty much PUBG without the backpacks and the helmets and stuff. But it ran really well. I didn't have any issues with it. I did only play it one time. I just haven't had. I've just been busy with family, so haven't put a lot of time into gaming. But if you do have Fortnite, check it out. When you load the game, it actually asks you, do you want to play? I think it's a save the world, save the planet, or do you want to do battle royale? So, but that is it for me. So let's move it on. If I can remember how to do that. If you would like to be a monthly subscriber to the show, you can go to thisxboxlife.com/Patreon and subscribe to us there. Your choice. You can donate as much as you wish every month, and they'll automatically take that out of your debit, credit card, however you wish to do that. If you would prefer a one-time donation, you can go to thisxboxlife.com/donate. That will also get your name on the screen there. As you can see, Drano and Gunny Chief have both contributed to us. So thank you guys. Appreciate that. All right. So going into the round table, I think this is some pretty big news. Phil Spencer, it joins the Microsoft senior leadership team. What do you think of that, Rob?
As long as, so it's cool that he's in senior leadership, as long as he's still doing what he's doing.
Yeah, I think he still is. I believe he's still head of Xbox, but I think he just kind of, my understanding, and I could be completely wrong here, my understanding is that he basically, it's almost like joining the board. You retain your job, but it's almost like Microsoft has now accepted that, hey, Xbox is a big deal. And where Satya Nadella was going to get rid of it or talked about it, they're now bringing Xbox in at the head of the table. And I think Phil's going to have maybe even more opportunities to maybe even do more for Xbox or bring some maybe bigger and neater and cooler stuff to the table. So I'm think this is really good. So we shall see what comes of it. But
cool.
All things point to good. All right. Another thing. Let me mute this tab real quick. That should do it. Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption 2 announcement is coming out this coming week. So Thursday, September 28th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. That's 11 a.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. UK time, or 1 a.m. AEST on September 29th. I don't know what AEST is. It might be Australia. Those are the time frames. Sorry, if I didn't call yours out specifically. Hopefully, you can figure out the time based on those. The developers made basically just made a cryptic announcement on Twitter using an image. It just says Thursday, September 28th, 11 a.m. Eastern time. That's so we're gonna get some
Yeah,
sort of announcement.
that's Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Rob.
Yeah.
So that's 1 a.m. on September 29th for them, but 8 a.m. Pacific time for me, 10 a.m. for you, Rob. So you're gonna take a break from work to find out what the announcement is. So that's all there is in this. But what I wanted to talk to you about now, I can't remember. I know you kept saying you were going to buy it when it was cheap, but that was like a digital copy, right?
What are we talking about here?
Red Dead Redemption, the first game.
Yeah, I was because I remember you guys were talking about it being like $10. So every time I looked, it was like 30.
But,
and I didn't want to pay 30 for it, but I did pick it up.
But you did play the physical copy of the game, right?
Yes, I did play the game. Yes.
Okay. So are you like stoked for Red Dead 2? Is it something like you're really looking forward to? Did you really like the first game?
I enjoyed the first game. That just reminds me I need to get back to it. It was a good game. It's fun. I like the mission style thing that it does. I can't say I'm like dying for the game, but for the new one, Red Dead 2, where I just can't wait for it to come out. I'll get it out on the first day. But I definitely would play it, and I would pick it up later when it's not $60.
Well, I'll definitely get it. This would be one of those for release day purchases for me or pre-orders for me. My only thing, I really enjoyed the first game. I did like it, and I know I didn't play it near as much as a lot of people did, but I think what I really liked about it, what I don't like about it is that you're on a horse, and it takes you forever to go from point to point. But when you start to unlock the fast travel, that really helps, and I did the fast travel a lot. But I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm just like kind of wondering, like, I wonder what they're gonna do in this game. Are we gonna play as like John Marston's kid, or is John Marston even going to be? Cause I'm trying to remember. I thought it's been so long, I don't even remember the story. I can't remember, like, because he had a wife and a son, I believe. And at one point, I was trying to remember this week. I'm like, did they die? Didn't they get gunned down? Wasn't that before the story? I just I can't remember what actually happened. But if I recall, he died at the end. I thought, or I can't even remember. I'm going to have to go back and look because it's like, I can't remember the story, but I remember at the time that it was just like, it was so intriguing and it was so like, I wanted to know what was going to happen next. And so few games catch me on a story. Like I'm not really a story driven person. I'm a run and gun guy. Let me just give me stuff to blow up. And that's like, I love Just Cause games. You're just flying around or blowing stuff up and, it's just, that's me. But this Red Dead was a lot of fun. And I do remember playing online with people and getting into posses and hunting down, gangs and stuff. And it was there was a lot of fun stuff. So for me, I still want them to, where the story mode is, you can still go in and not have anybody else jump in unless you want to. Co-op would be cool to bring into it. In your storyline, I think that'd be fun. Again, maybe that was there in the first game. I just don't remember. It was so long ago. But looking forward to hearing what they're going to say and when a release date is. And if this game turns out to be that, hey, we're going to have it out in November, this will finally be a game that I would say, okay, now there's something before the end of the year that I'm actually looking forward to. This would actually fit that spot because right now there's nothing. There's some stuff I'm going to get, but it's kind of like, whatever. I could do without Forza 7. I really don't want to spend the money on it because it's just another Forza game. I feel like I've played it every other year. It's the same thing. It just looks prettier. But so, anything you'd like to see different or maybe changed about it?
No, it's a tough one. I just don't really know what to expect with the second one. I mean, I would think it would be kind of more of the same.
Yeah, this.
Just new storyline, new plots, but you're going around in a horse or a stagecoach. I mean, it's the Wild West. It's things are kind of limited.
Yeah, the leaks that have been out previously suggested it's going to be a prequel to the 2010 game. So I mean that, yeah, 2010. This game has been 7 years. That's why I can't remember exactly. But if it is a prequel, I think that would be the best way. I mean, that would really get me excited to be able to go back and play as John Marston, because I do remember he was like with a gang. He was like running with this group of guys, if I recall. And man, I'm gonna get just destroyed if I'm getting this wrong. But it seemed, if I recall, he was running like prior to the Red Dead 2 or Red Dead 1. He was running with this gang of guys, and then this is like some of the people he had to go back and confront in that game. So it would be kind of neat to go back and see like that initial story, but just to play is John Marston again, because it was such an awesome character. I thought that's what I look forward to. So
Mhm.
we'll see. But the last announcement, it was the game was still delayed till 2018. So I don't think we'll see a change in that. They might just say, hey, maybe they're going to give us some info on it. Maybe release some actual footage.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see, and we will report
Yeah.
back next week.
Hopefully it's better than just like a red screen that says like
See you in March of 2018.
RDR2 or something.
Yeah, better be more than a Twitter.
Yeah.
Um. Okay, so the next item then, real quick, is if you want to test out the true power of the Xbox One X and you live near a Microsoft store, as of this past Saturday, September 23rd, several retail locations across the U.S. are hosting in-store demos of Forza Motorsport 7 on Xbox One X. There supposedly some Best Buys and GameStops. Best Buys were supposed to be getting them this weekend, and then I guess they're going to be coming to GameStop as well. So, check it out. Microsoft stores will definitely probably have them. That's supposedly they guaranteed to be there. And then Best Buy and GameStop locations, some will be hosting as well. So there you have it. Check it out. Okay, so my last thing that I had was PUBG. I talked about PUBG and or Fortnite's Battle Royale mode. And there's been a stink this past week with the PUBG group publicly coming out and trying to shame Fortnite over what they've done. So I've played
Okay.
PUBG and I've played Fortnite's Battle Royale. So first of all, PUBG is a copy or a form of a game style. Okay, so like H1Z1 and another real popular one, I can't think of it right now, but these games have been around for a while with this kind of like battle royale game type, right? A survival type of game. So PUBG came out and it really, I mean, they've sold, it's in preview or beta testing or whatever on the PC. It's going to come to game preview on Xbox One. It's sold over 10 million copies on the PC, and it's not even retailly released yet. Okay, that's huge. I mean, that's insane. 10 million copies essentially of a beta have been sold. So it's very popular.
Wow. Yeah.
But so now, I mean, we know, and everybody knows, and other talk show or other podcasts I've listened to have talked about how, other games, AAA companies are gonna, they're seeing this success, and they're like, okay, we got to tap into this. I mean, everybody does this. We saw it with the music games or the music genre and several other different genres. Everybody's always trying to copy the new hotness. So Fortnite recently released their battle royale version of this game, and it is extremely extreme. It's basically a copy, for the most part, of PUBG, and I can get why they're complaining about it. and supposedly they're talking about actually taking legal action against Epic for this, which
Wow.
I really don't know if they have grounds to stand on because they don't own the rights to the battle royale game mode or game style. But so if you played PUBG, you start out in this kind of open area with this crashed airplane, and everybody's kind of running around until they get like when they get 100 players in there. Then it launches the game, and you're everybody's in an airplane, and you're flying over this island, and you bail out wherever you want, and you parachute down to an area on the map, and then you got to start finding, guns and helmets and med kits and backpacks and gear. You're basically trying to find gear and weapons so that you can, and ammo so that you can start fighting. And basically, you start with 100 people, and the last person alive wins the game. Well, that's exactly what Fortnite's version is. You start out in this open area, everybody's kind of running around, and then when it has enough players, it launches, and instead of a plane, you're in this bus that's like hot air ballooning over the island, okay? And then you bail out, and the kind of cool thing about it though is you can like push down or forward on your stick, and you'll like dive, so you can get down there a lot quicker. You're free falling, but then you can even go faster. And then you can pop a glider out, and then you can actually put the glider away and continue your free fall if you want, and pull the glider back out again. So that's kind of cool. But essentially, you do the same thing. You get down there and you don't have anything. You don't have any weapons. You don't have any, so you got to scrounge around for weapons and ammo, and there are like I picked up a shield mod, and I didn't get a chance to use it, but I did pick that up. I picked up a health kit, and you picking up weapons, and like when I did kill my first guy, I was able to pick up his loot that he had, and then I continued running around scrounging, and instead of a circle, it's like the storm. The storms are raging outside, so you got to stay in the eye of the storm. Well, the storms are, that's all part of Fortnite. So they're still using Fortnite to try to keep the circle and get the game down. But it played really well, and it does. It's kind of like right now, it's the only way you can kind of quote play PUBG on the console until it actually comes out. So with all that said, I don't. First of all, I kind of think that by PUBG talking about it and putting it out there and claiming they're going to take legal action, all this, I think it's only pointing the finger. It's basically telling their community of 10 million plus gamers who paid $30 for a beta to go, oh, well, there's a free one over here, because the game is going to be free to play eventually.
Next year or something.
Yeah, right? So probably, I mean, this game could go free to play before PUBG goes retail. And they're basically saying, if you like this game style, this game has copied us almost identically, and it's free. And it's like, I don't know if that's a smart move on their part. I would almost say they should be quiet about it, and say, hey, well, let's pat on the back. Hey, take it as a sign of flattery, that they're copying us. But I think by announcing it and making this big public thing, ultimately may possibly hurt them. Maybe it won't, but it just seemed to me, it's kind of like, you like PUBG, here's a free version of it,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still paying for PUBG when it comes on Xbox. And I already bought it on PC, and I just don't play it because I can't do the mouse keyboard, but I'll do the controller a lot better. What do you think, Rob? I mean, it is like, if you've played the one and you go play the Fortnite version, I mean, everybody knows, oh, this is PUBG. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
So do you think they have a ground to stand on, or does it's a battle royale game mode? Is that, I'm curious if Epic's going to have to pull this game mode for legal reasons down the road.
So because I've heard of stuff like this kind of like in board games for some time with lawsuits and stuff like that. I mean, there are certain things that you can trademark or copyright, whatever it might be. But as a system, you really can't. And what I mean by that is if there's something specific like a brand that you've got the lock on, but a specific play style or whatever, you can't. As an example, you look at mobile games, you got like Flappy Bird. There were a billion copies and they were all legal.
Right.
Okay. I mean, if it's absolutely the same, then I think there can be an issue. You know, like if it's the same graphics, the same sounds, if it's like 100% copy, that you can't do. But if you can make it similar enough that it's the same thing, like Clash Royale, for example, my favorite game on mobile. I had to mention that. But there's so many copies of it. One is like almost identical. The characters are a little bit different, but it's the same style. And it's got like a blocky Minecraft kind of look to it. But otherwise, the game looks the same. It's the whole, you know, two different, king towers and stuff. There's two bridges, guys going up, guys coming down.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. So with games, like you can have a racing game. You can have another racing game. They can have the same cars. I mean, a racing game is a racing game.
Right.
And they're perfectly fine. So this here, I think they can get away with it unless they absolutely violated something that they can't pull out of it. So, if they have like PUBG listed in there, I mean, that is an offense.
Right.
But having a style like it, I mean, even like the same weapons, as long as they look different, I think that is okay.
Yeah, no, these are Fortnite weapons.
Sure, right?
It's all, and like I said, you don't pull out a shield, like this body shield. Like here, it looked like I hit this thing and I looked at it and I was like, so I imagine I didn't get to use it. I died too quick, but I imagine it's a shield that goes around your whole body, to shield you from either falling or gunfire temporarily. That's not in PUBG.
Right.
So, but it's a copy. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it isn't.
Sure.
But it's not a bit per bit copy, but it is. It's like, okay, we're going to take the same formula and do it in our game, and
it's close enough where when you play it, you're like, this is just like PUBG.
Exactly. I mean, everybody knows exactly what they copied. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But I just feel like they should just say, that's nice that they're doing it, but they're just drawing more attention to it, to a competitor essentially, which is going to be a free version of that. And, Fortnite's not, these guys at Epic are probably going, wow, PUBG's huge. Let's add this mode into our already existing game, which is our, we've sold several million copies of a pre-release title too, but it's going to be free to play. And people are going to come to get this because it's going to be free and they don't have to pay the $30, $60, whatever, PUBG is going to cost when it goes out. And then on top of getting that battle royale mode, there's also this whole other game, that exists because it's a free to play style. So I think they need to just zip it. I think they're doing themselves more harm. But for myself, I'm still going to pick up PUBG, but this, I ended up leaving, but I did think about it. I was like, I kind of want to play that again. And that's, I know when I pick up Fortnite now, I'm probably going to go play that instead of the actual game.
Sure.
So I'll probably play Battle Royale mode again next time I turn it on. So, and there you go. It was fun. And, it works. I don't have PUBG on the console yet, so I might as well play it over here.
Yeah.
All right.
I wonder how many copies of Fortnite it's going to sell.
It'll be
Apple II tree.
I don't know. Fortnite did pretty good on their pre-sales too. So
sure.
Again, for a beta test of a free-to-play game, but I've put quite a bit of money into Fortnite. We don't need to talk about that.
It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, we'll see. I have a feeling that mode will be the most popular when the game goes free. So
yeah.
All right. Did you have any recap yourself this week?
Yeah, I did. There's a couple of things. Let's see here. So, let's see. One thing that I think, oh, my machine is locked up. That's no good. Here we go. So, oh, come on.
I'm
So,
in. I'm the
one,
in flight entertainment.
yes, yes. Yeah, apparently, I'm on one of those web pages where it brings your machine or at least your browser to a crawl. So anyway, as I'm sure everybody's probably heard, the Xbox One X Standard Edition is now up for pre-order. It is not the Scorpio Edition, which was out a couple weeks ago. What about 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the regular one. You can pre-order, and as far as I know, these have not sold out. At least I haven't heard anything yet, and it probably won't. At least I don't think it would.
Probably.
So yeah, so you can pre-order these things if you like, or well, so that brings up a question. So okay, Mark, the past couple of times it was really tough to find the consoles when they came out. Like I remember the Xbox 360. It was a couple of weeks later that I was finally able to get my system, just because it was nowhere. It was in none of the stores. They'd have like an initial delivery, like 20 units. They get snapped up right away. And do you think that that might be the case with this one, or is it going to be ample supply and it's going to break the trend set by like Nintendo and some of those where you can't get the consoles at all?
I think this is. I think there won't be any problems. People getting these on release day. I think you'll be able to walk in the store and pick one off the shelf. Um,
Think so?
yeah, because and it's not that that doesn't mean that the console's a failure. I just
No,
feel
no.
that it's a lot of people are looking at it like, well, I don't have 4K. Well, true. You can still gain a lot with this console, even on a 1080p television. You're going to see a better visuals. You're going to see faster load times. You're going to have that, and you're ready for when you do buy your next TV. But and it's like a lot of people might be, well, I just upgraded to the Xbox One S. It's not even a year ago, and why am
Sure.
I going to buy another one? And so I think that this is one of those. It it's not a brand new console that brings us a complete brand new thing. I mean, when we boot this up, Rob, it's going to be the same dashboard that we're looking at. We've been looking at, well, that we're looking at
Sure.
right now. So you don't even get a new dashboard. Everything's going to be the same as what you see. It's just going to be faster in a different box. And if so, I think it's for people like that really want it. That there's that. It's a premium product. It's going to be for those people that right now are going to spend the $500 to get it. I think there's just they even said it themselves. They expect to sell a ton of the S's. That's where they're going to
Sure.
sell out, not on this thing. So I think, yeah, I think it'll be there available, and I still think it's going to sell pretty well. Um, but it's kind of like I said a couple weeks ago when the Scorpio edition sold out in 20 minutes or something. We don't know how many of those they actually made.
Right.
That's the thing. We have to keep everything in perspective, and it didn't prove anything. Um,
Yeah.
Now, if they've already sold out of the first million of the standards, then okay, maybe they've got something. But I expect these will be readily available for the holiday season. So for those that
Okay.
want it.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence. I don't really know which way it's going to go because we don't know what the supply is going to be. I really don't think that they're going to build them like the Xbox One S because, it is like a top tier product, a premium
Right.
product, and you wouldn't expect them to sell. I mean, you're not going to make as many Ferraris as you're going to make like Ford Focuses.
Right. Yeah,
Just because of,
exactly.
yeah. So,
And
I
Nintendo is different too. Nintendo's business model is they won't go into the red when they put a new
right.
console out. It's almost like they pay everything up front in cash. So they always produce a limited number, and then they get the money back from that, and then they flip that cash around to invest in, okay, here's the next round of, we're where I think Sony and Microsoft are like, let's just pump out 10 million of them, first run, because eventually they're going to sell them. It's a different mindset and a different business model. So Nintendo,
Sure.
I think, is kind of, and they might even be doing it on purpose because, they're so far behind the other two that they have to kind of falsely. It's
It's like
just
creating a shordage in demand.
purposely creating a shortage to make people think, wow, everybody wants it because I can't get them.
Right.
Well, really, they only made 100 of them. So,
Yeah. Because I mean, if you're not following gaming and trends and stuff, you look at it now because what it came out beginning of March. So it was this almost 7 months later.
yeah.
I still think you can't get them in the stores readily, right?
Yeah. My understanding is they're pretty much sold out in stores, but I will say this. I'm going to take a little tangent on the Switch. I actually saw someone playing, they were streaming, and I watched it. They were playing on their Switch, and they were playing Rabbids, the Mario Rabbids game.
Sure.
That looks really fun.
Yeah.
It's like Mario and Rabbids meets XCOM, sort of,
Yeah. Yeah.
but in a real fun way. And I was just like, oh boy, I might have just found my reason to get a Switch.
Yeah. You the night.
So, and see, Christmas is coming. I have 3 kids. I can always use them. Dear, let's get this for our children.
So you're gonna get 3 of them
No, 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 no. No, one, and it will stay permanently in the dock.
in your room.
No, I would put it in the family room.
Yeah.
But
You put all the kids to bed at 5 p.m.
right.
and go to bed.
Yeah.
Put
But
that Switch back in
Dad.
the cradle. Yeah. Or in the dock.
Yeah, no,
That's
I wouldn't
funny.
let them run around with it because they drop everything. So,
Mm.
but no, I thought about it and I was like, it looks like a lot of fun. That game looks like a lot of fun. So, and I know that if I looked at, was it Splatoon?
Yeah.
That is probably one I might enjoy as well.
Hmm.
And then I don't think I ever played a Zelda game in my whole life.
They're
So
good. They are good.
yeah, so maybe, but I've heard that the new Zelda game is a lot like Horizon. And I'm like, oh, another one of those games. Like, no, I have yet to finish Horizon. I'm at the very end. Like, all I have to do is like the final missions in that game, and I just can't get myself to
Did
go
you lose
finish it.
interest?
Oh, I lost interest a long time ago. And then I kind of forced myself through and I got to the final part and then it was like, oh, maybe there's a couple I was trying to like get some extra skills or something. So I was doing a bunch of side stuff and I'm just like, oh, I'm done with it. Oh, I need to just boot it up one day. I'm probably like 30 minutes left of the game, one boss fight, and I'm probably done with it. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'll eventually. But I'm like, I just got really it just didn't do it for me, and it felt like Far Cry Primal, which I played lots of hours of that, and I'm like, well, Zelda's like Horizon, which is like Primal. I'm like, I don't need to play this game for the 3rd time in a row. So
I
that's
think the
kind of my
Zeldas
only.
are the Zelda games are, I think, very much their own. I don't think they're much like anything, at least on Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah.
But
So maybe next year I might, if that
yeah,
one happens to find its way in our home this
'cause I don't
holiday
know if I
season.
ever mentioned it. I got my son a Switch a couple weeks back,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, and I got him Splatoon 2. So I actually did try that. I mean, he is like way better at it than I am.
Uh huh.
And as far as the system goes, it's interesting because like the funky thing about it is that, well, actually, what's interesting with his play style is he refuses to play it on the TV. So he does not play it docked on the TV. He prefers to have it handheld.
Oh yeah.
And I get it. I mean, it's like a 3DS with a bigger screen in some sense, because you're holding it, you get a really good view. But the really strange thing, or not strange thing, the unusual thing about it that really surprised me was, okay, when you play it on the TV, you have your little controllers, those Joy Cons
Right.
that you can either hold in your individual hands, which is really awkward,
Yeah.
or you can snap it onto the controller body that they have. And so, it plays like your typical video game. And then the Splatoon games they're pretty cool on their own. But when you have the game, with the Joy Cons on the sides of the screen, you're playing the game and you can look around you by like moving around. I don't know if I'm explaining that too well. Like for example,
like your the screen, like your background.
yeah, like
So
like
instead of
if
moving
you're
the stick to look around, you actually physically move the screen.
yeah, like on cell phones, like if you're doing like a 360 video
Right. Yeah.
and you can move your phone around to look, in different directions, see what's above, what's below, and you kind of move it around to get a good view of what's around you. So you can also do that as well. So it's kind of funny to watch him play. So he's sitting there and he's like looking around and moving with the thumbsticks left and right. And then all of a sudden he's like, like shifting his whole body to get the view of, because there's something to the right of him. It's just interesting to watch somebody play it. It's, you don't see that with any other game, or, you don't see that with phones or with the 3DS and such. But I did try Splatoon 2, and it's hard. I didn't put a whole lot of time into it, maybe like 10 minutes before I gave it back to him. But I mean, it's a lot different than the Xbox One.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Well,
but the games are clever and they're kind of cute.
If you end up with Mario Rabbids, I really want to hear a review from you. If you end up getting that, because it looked like a lot of fun. Okay. That I was just sitting there watching it and I'm like, this looks like fun. This looks really, and my kids I know would love it, and I'm just like, yeah, and I know they got a new Mario game coming out at the end of the year. I'm like, maybe I'll pick one of these up, but we'll see.
If you can.
If I can. So also a quick update. I do want to do an update. I want to thank Moronic Cow for talking about King Domino.
Oh, yeah.
I did actually. So he was talking about that board game. I guess you call it a board game. You don't play on a board, but.
It is a board game.
Okay. So he mentioned that board game, and I looked it up, and I was like, whatever. And I was kind of brushing you guys off because, Rob's mentioned a few games to me that I've, no offense, Rob. I'm just like, I hate that one that I bought off your recommendation. My kids love it. My wife loves it. It's Forbidden Island. I hate that game, man. I can't stand it.
Suck at it.
They pull that out, man. I'm leaving the house. I'm like, I'm out of here. And then there's another one. There's like a sequel to it where I think it's like in the desert.
Forbidden Desert. Yeah.
So I was like, ooh. But anyways, so I watched a video of it and I was like, I didn't know. Like when I saw this, I was like, this doesn't look that interesting. But what I liked about it was that it was like really short. Like the games are like 10, 15 minutes long and you're done.
Sure. Yep.
And I was like, oh, that's beautiful. I like that. Let me, and I'm like, well, both you guys raved.
You want to explain the game just a little bit so the people know what you're talking about?
Okay. So they'll take just a quick minute. I don't want to run into a whole ton of board game. We did that last week.
No. Yeah.
But, and I was getting bored.
Of course.
So this game, you get these like little castles that you put together. It's just like 4 pieces of cardboard that slide into each other. Thick cardboard though. So you have your little castle and you put it on this little block, this little tile block, and then and everybody gets their little block, and then you get everybody gets a little king of the matching color to your castle. And what I thought was really cool about this, like the way that you decide who goes first is someone puts all the kings in their hand and shakes them up, and you just drop one out at a time. And whichever king gets pulled out or dropped out first, that's who goes first. That goes second, third, fourth. And then so there's none of this who started first, and it's all random.
Sure.
So that's really cool. My kids actually even thought that was a really neat idea. And then so you all have this little castle in front of you, and you're basically going to build a 5x5 grid with these tiles that you pull out that are two spaces long. Okay,
They're like
they're like 2 by 1.
dominoes.
Yeah, it's like a
They're like
domino.
dominoes. Yeah, like left and right side.
So you mix all these tiles up and you put them back in the box, and then you pull 4 out, and then they have a number on one side, and then the other side has like land, like woods, water, desert, fields, whatever, caves, stuff like that. So you put them down on the table from low number to high number, and then you flip them over so everybody can see, and then whoever goes first gets to pick any of the 4 tiles they want. And if there's like a crown on it, then that gets you want the crowns because that's what your multiplier is. So if you're picking up like 2 forests tiles and it has no crown on it, yeah, you get 2 forest tiles, but you're gonna have to attach a crown tile to it to get the points for those
to make
forests,
it matter.
to make it matter, right?
Yeah.
And so you're just you're kind of building like your little kingdom of different types of land. And then so what happens is if you pick like the higher number card, those tend to be better, or higher number tile, those tend to be better. They may have 2 crowns on them or whatever. And so you pick that, but then that means you're going last in the next round. So every round it changes who goes first, which is really kind of neat. And then whoever's first gets their first pick of the tiles. So you're trying to build your kingdom, and it only takes about 10-15 minutes, and everybody has basically a 5x5 little kingdom. And then what you do is you go through and you start counting up how many of the tiles, so like your forests all have to connect, and then how many crowns, and that's the multiplier times the tiles. Real simple to do. And then you add it up and see how much you get. And it was interesting because our first time we played, I don't know, my kids beat me. I never won. But we were getting, okay, we got some points. The second game we played, I think the first time the high score was 37, maybe.
Yeah, because you don't know what you're doing in the first time. I mean, you're just like trying to figure out, you're going through the motions. There's like no strategy, no planning.
Right.
With these games, yeah.
And your camera just froze again. So you just stuck with your mouth half open. Oh, did I lose you, Rob? Oh, you're back. There you go. So, yeah, but the second game we played, I wasn't even paying attention. My daughter was just grabbing forest cards like crazy. She ended up with 70-something points at the end of the second game. And I was just like, I had like 28, I'm just
and you let her do that.
I know. I didn't even notice. I looked over at the end. I was like, your board's almost all forest. What the heck? And then, of course, my youngest was like, oh, I'm going for the forest tiles the next game. He's like, he's too young.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, no, it's not. That's not it. She had so many of those, plus all the crowns. You need that. So, but I was helping him play. But they all loved it. I enjoyed it. And, it was, very good recommendation. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kyle, for that. My kids, thank you. We had fun with it, and we're looking forward to playing again. So anyways.
Yeah, one thing on a quick side note, one thing I like doing with those games is instead of like shuffling those tiles and putting them back in the box like how it wants you to do, I'll have like a little bag. Like here's a bag for my headphones, or I got some Crown Royal,
right.
the whiskey. They have like really big bags and they have smaller size bags. I got them real cheap on eBay, and those are perfect. You just throw the tiles in there and then you just pluck them out. There's no like stacking or organizing of the cards. And they're a lot easier to shuffle.
Yeah.
That way as well. So, but anyway, I'm glad you liked it. That was a great recommendation that Kyle did.
Yeah. All right. So
there's more news.
There is. Yes. Okay.
So there's a gentleman by the name of Seamus Blackley. You might know of him if you had an original Xbox.
Oh yeah.
You know who he is, right?
I do. Yes.
Right? You heard his name once or twice, maybe.
A couple times
in the past.
D3. Yeah.
17 years. But yeah, Seamus is one of the original designers of the Xbox, original Xbox, way back in the early 2000s, late 90s. And one thing that is iconic to the original Xbox, other than the way that they had the, was it the blades? And no, it wasn't the blades on the original one. That was the
Yeah. Oh
360.
no, that was the 360. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that the first
but
one just had that black and green
yeah,
kind of
it
like
had like that
whoa.
funky, like pulsating
Yeah.
X thing,
Yeah.
and the controller, which was nicknamed the Duke. This
Which is coming
monstrous
back.
controller. Yeah, it is coming back. Seamus tweeted the other day that it has been approved and has gone to tooling. So it is coming back. I would imagine it would not be an exact copy of the original controller. I would think it would probably be like a mix, so it would have like the refinements of the latest controllers plus the styling of the original Xbox controller, which that got replaced by the S, right? Wasn't it like
Yeah.
the
Because
controller
it was
S?
smaller. It was
Yeah,
smaller.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't really want to see the Duke come out. I'd rather see the S come back.
yeah,
Um, but either way, we really do need that controller because, it had the black and white buttons as
sure.
well, which were used for gameplay. So if we're going to get some back compatible OG Xbox games, we kind of need a controller that has the black and white buttons on it. So
Yep. Oh yeah.
I just
Or
hope they don't sell them for crazy amounts of money because I just don't see a lot of people buying them and using them all the time.
yeah. So I imagine it would be the styling of the original Xbox controller plus the white and black buttons plus some maybe additional buttons that are for the 360. Another 360, the Xbox One. Because what was it? It had what, start and back? Was that the buttons?
Yeah. Yep. Starting back.
Yeah, start and back, and then the black and white. And I don't think there were any. It had the triggers, but it didn't. Did it have any of the bumper
Okay.
buttons
Let
as
me,
well?
you keep talking. I'm going to go grab
Yeah.
mine. I'll be right back.
Okay. I was thinking about grabbing mine because it's out in the garage. But anyway, this controller is coming back. We'll probably see it sometime next year, maybe. And that's about it for that. Hopefully, Mark isn't gone too long. The other thing that we have is all of the Halo games are now backwards compatible on Xbox One. So that's pretty interesting. So you can definitely get your Halo on. So that's everything Halo Anniversary, Halo 3, I think ODST and all those, they are all backwards compatible. And the last thing is looks like with the, let me see here. It's like, actually, I don't think that applies to the Xbox. So that is about it.
Okay. So I got it. Well, this one, I do have an original Duke, but this one is the S. But so for those that are actually watching, I'm going to try to hold. So here's the, oops. I got to do this without banging the microphone.
Should I run out and grab mine in the garage?
Oh, mine's like in the closet
Yeah.
behind me. But I don't want to go digging. It'll just take me
Yeah,
too long. So, but you can see
we'll be
that the S really is a little bigger than the what we're using now on the Xbox
yeah,
One. But like you said, so if you look at the front of it, over on the other side, so the side where my finger is, that's where the back and the start buttons are. They're not by the middle Xbox button. And then over on
yeah.
the
They're on
other
the bottom,
side,
right?
yeah, over on the other side is the black and white button. But I think on the Duke,
Oh,
the black and white was up by the center button. I thought they were up
no,
here
they
on the
were
original.
underneath. They were underneath.
Okay. And then
So
you
yeah,
remember that?
the black and white buttons were like on the top right, and then the other two buttons were on the bottom middle because it had that humongous like circle
In the middle,
right in the
right?
middle.
And then
Oh, what were
you
those plugs on the top for?
weren't there like some kind of memory cartridges? I think you would stick cartridges in there, and I think you could store like
Is it
your
for save
games.
games?
I think for save games, and then you could take that to like a friend's house and then pop it in the
Yeah.
controller. You're
That's
right.
right.
There's no shoulder buttons. There's just the triggers.
Okay.
But this is still, even though this is a small one, this is still pretty big. But it's more, and it's more like the thickness of it. But it is about the size of what we currently use. But yeah, the
Sure.
Duke was huge compared to this one.
Yeah.
I'll have to dig that out maybe for next week's show or something.
Yeah.
We'll compare the two, because I know I got one right behind me in the closet, so just buried in a box.
Hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see what they do.
Yeah. And I don't know if you were there for it, but all of the Halo games are now backwards compatible.
Cool.
All of them. And that's it.
All right. So let me figure out what's next. All right. You can. What can you do? I'm gonna play a voicemail, because you can send us voicemail. And we last week. So again, we talked about at the top of the show that there was some audio issues, some really strange, weird stuff that Rob had to do a lot of magic and stuff to correct. So we will be on top of that this week, making sure that doesn't repeat. And if we're seeing it again, we will try to figure out what's causing it. But we're hoping it's a one-time fluke.
Yes.
Let's see. So, anyways, we had a contest. Commander Sisson sent us a voicemail last week, and then he also sent the show $60. And like I was saying last week, a lot of you in our community might remember him several years ago. His wife was overseas and unexpectedly passed away. And, he was stuck back in the States, and it was just a horrible time. I was there. I was there, trying to help him and support him. And a lot of our community members supported him in helping to raise money because it cost a fortune to get his wife back, and everything. And it was just a mess. But he reached out to me personally and just said, I really was thankful for the community of TXL. He felt our support and our love of you guys, and he wanted to give something back. So he donated $60 and asked us to give away a game or something. So he also sent a voicemail and asked 2 questions of Rob and I, which we answered last week. And we posted to you guys that we wanted you to either email us at contact@thisxboxlife.com or send us a voicemail by going to our website at thisxboxlife.com and clicking on the send voicemail option on the right side of our webpage. And we will read those and play the voicemails back in next week's show. And we will randomly select one of those to win that $60 gift card. We'll give you an Xbox basically gift card of $60. So let me play his voicemail, and hopefully you hear this, Rob.
Hey guys, 2-part question here. What game release during the remainder of this year are you most looking forward to playing? And what game is already out that you wanted to play but have not got around to doing it yet?
So again, so there's 2 games. What game has already come out this year that you want to play that you haven't yet played? And what game is going to come out before the end of the year that you are most looking forward to? So you can send us an email, send us a voicemail. Either way, give us your gamer tag, and make your voicemails brief. Make them under 60 seconds just to ensure that it goes through. Okay. With that, we will move on. We're not going to read any of the emails or play any of the voicemails we got this week. We're going to save those all for next week.
Yep.
When we do the contest. So next week should be fun. Hopefully we get a lot more. We did get quite a few, but I'm looking for a lot more next week. I just want it to be a voicemail email show. That would be just cool. That'd be a lot of fun to hear from you guys. And also, if you guys just want to say comments or ask questions, you're welcome to do that anytime, every week. We're always open to, you guys got questions for us? You guys, I don't know, want to send us some trivia or something? I don't care. See if we can figure it out. You're welcome to it. We are on Twitter and also Facebook, both of them, thisxboxlife.com/Twitter or Facebook will take you to those respective groups. All right. What's coming out this week, Rob? I think we might finally have something exciting for people. Maybe more than
I don't
one
know what
item.
you're talking about.
Might be more
Actually,
than one.
I think you're correct. And one of them is going to drain some wallets. Okay, so for the week of September 25th through October 1st, we have on Tuesday, September 26th, Pinball FX3 is coming out. The game called Ruiner. Another one called Lightfield, which looks kind of interesting, at least from the photo of the screenshot rather that they have. Also on the 26th, Batman, The Enemy Within, Episode 2, The Pact. And then on the 29th, which I believe is Friday, this is the big day here. We have FIFA 18. We have Cuphead. This is the game that they've been talking about forever. It's supposed to be amazing. I'm not convinced, but the animations are kind of funky. It's supposed to be pretty good.
FIFA. Okay, so when you said Friday, that sent off a big beep beep boop thing in my head. Yes, so FIFA is EA Access members can start playing on the 29th.
Yes, correct.
So I don't think the game actually comes out till next week.
Then
probably Tuesday.
Week, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
You are correct about that.
Okay.
So early access through EA Access, FIFA 18 on Friday. Cuphead is not early access, so that's a Play Anywhere title, but it is a console exclusive. Does that mean that it's coming out console exclusive release, but eventually it'll be on Windows 10?
It's a console exclusive. It means this is the only console.
Release.
This game is exclusive to Xbox. It will not be on Nintendo or Sony.
Right, not.
It will be on Windows 10.
Yes. Okay. Very good point. Thanks for clarifying. So to recap, early access for EA Access for FIFA 18 on 29th, Cuphead also on the 29th, Forza Motorsport 7 Ultimate Edition. And this one again is early access on the 29th.
For the Ultimate Edition only. You have to pre-order the Ultimate Edition to get the early access. So, yeah, if you've bought the regular or deluxe versions, you're not going to get it early. Go figure.
Yes. Okay, and then also on the 29th is Syndrome. Swinging back to September 27th, we have Lilith M, Splasher, and then on the 29th again, Battle Garega Rev 2016.
Did you miss Syndrome?
I thought I mentioned it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
If not, Syndrome on the 29th.
So there's a lot there.
Yeah. Well, for some of it, there's a lot if you bought into it.
True. But I'm definitely Pinball FX3 I'm grabbing. That's a freebie. And you get a bunch of your stuff. It's backwards compatible with a bunch of games. Yeah. And, I don't know. I might have to pick up Cuphead, even though I know I'm probably not going to like it. But I don't like hard games, and it's a hard game. So, but it's just one of those things. It's almost like I feel like I'm going to have to pick this one up. Just try it.
Because I look at the game and I have no interest in it. It just, the animations and art are, interesting enough, especially with the old Disney style cartoons.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look interesting to me. But so many people are saying how great it is, especially people that have played it already, and they're just raving about it. There's got to be something to it.
I know.
So I really think it's one of those things of where I go into it as a skeptic and I play it. I'm like, wow, this is really good. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think it's only $30 too.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap, or it's not pretty cheap. It's a lot less expensive than some of the other titles.
Than the $100 Forza 7 Ultimate Edition.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I heard that the art on there is all hand drawn.
Yes, every
And
piece.
yeah. And the Cuphead dude looks pretty cool, but
Yeah.
anyway. So interesting stuff coming out this coming week. Games with Gold still continues. You have about one more week left to get Forza 5. So if you're not going to be getting Forza 7, you can go back in the Wayback Machine back to 2013, which is, I think, when Forza 5 released. And you can grab that one. So that's good through the 30th. And Oxenfree was new starting last week, and that's going to go through October. And that is the game with the incessant talking. Did you try that one yet, Mark?
No, not yet.
Okay. I just want to get your comment once you play it and say like, so was there any talking in that game? Anyway, moving on to Xbox 360, we have Battlefield 3 for the rest of the month, and that one is backwards compatible. Make sure to grab it also if you have an Xbox One, because you can play it as well. And then lastly, if you're a user of iTunes, make sure to find our show on there. Give us a rating, 5 stars if you would. The more of those that we get, the more reviews that we get, the more ranked we get on the iTunes store. So people can find us a lot easier. And probably one of the last times I'll mention it. We're no longer affiliated with Amazon. So please don't use our affiliate link because it won't work and we won't get any credit for it. So I think that, though, I don't have anything else for this show. How about you, Mark? Anything?
I'm good. I'm
Okay.
good. That's it. So we thank you guys for turning out for us. Again, don't forget the contest. Get those emails or voicemails into us by next weekend, and we will pick a winner and announce that winner in next week's episode. Brun is expected to be back. He's been traveling for work and taking some time. So we will, if he's not back, if he needs a little more time, we'll be calling on one of you from the community to join us probably. All right. With that, I am Mark, aka Wingman 709, taking off.
And I'm Rob, also known as Presar. Thanks for listening, everybody.